Guys, welcome back for another video. Today's video I'm going to be comparing the brand new Jaguar I-Pace to the brand new Mercedes EQC. So both of these vehicles start from around £65,000, and just before we get into the review, I'd like to say I make content like this pretty much every single day, so be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button with your notifications turned on so you don't miss a single video. Alright, so now we're going to explore the Jaguar I-Pace first. So, I usually build the cars on the website, but for the Jaguar's case I'm not going to build because it doesn't work at the moment. So, I'm just going to show you some key information that you're going to need without me actually building the car. So, we have a 360 view of the car, so I'll show you some changes and what it's based on and the main points you need to know about the car. So it has a 90 kilowatt hour battery, which is a very good size for electric vehicles. The larger the kilowatt hour battery is, so if it was a Tesla for example, you would normally have P90D or 85D or just 85, and that represents the kilowatt hour that your battery has. And in this case it doesn't do anything like this, but you can tell on your specifications sheet, and as you can see this has the charging port on the side over here, and it has a refreshed rear design. Now you can see that it's slightly sticking out more than usual, sort of like a box, but what I'm going to say, this is to increase the boot space, so you have more space for your luggage or any daily things you need to chuck in your boot. And this is because batteries take up lots of space for the boot because the batteries are so large, and you obviously need that range to get from point A to point B, and doing this will just make you have more boot space, and the more boot space you have, the better. But it depends what you're going to use the vehicle for, and that's about it. So we're going to go over some performance stats. So it can do 0 to 60 in just under 4.5 seconds, and I did mention it has a 90 kilowatt hour battery. It's got 400 horsepower and also 700 newton meters of torque. So it's got two magnetic motors, I'd say, so dual motors just like in Teslas, and they've got really good torque. So it's got inbuilt traction control, so you can control your traction, you can turn it off or on, and it's got a good transmission, so it's generally pretty smooth overall, but sometimes it is slightly slow to react, but overall is a good transmission. So you can see it has got air suspension, which I suppose is good because most vehicles that are SUVs now tend to have the air suspension, and especially coming in at this price you'd actually expect them to have air suspension as standard or maybe an optional extra. So it's got the adaptive dynamics for you to obviously control to the air suspension. So this improves bumps and when you're going off-road and stuff like that. So you can read about it more on the internet if you want to know what air suspension is, and I can do a dedicated video for it. Now if you do want to know what air suspension is and you want a 5-minute detailed video about how to use it or what it is or why you want to have it on your car, then make sure to comment down below, and if this video gets 5 likes then I'll make that video. Okay, so moving on, you have all-wheel drive, and for charging at home I'd recommend you get installed a pod point charger, which can be installed under your home for £450. So this will charge your car in just over 10 hours or just under 10 hours depending on your vehicle. but relatively well, and you can have this vehicle charged by the morning. So if you put it on night for your lower rates, it'll be ready for the next morning. So if you're using it daily and you're driving it to work, then you just put it in the evening, and then it should be ready to go at 100%, or as recommended to 80% for daily driving, and you should be able to drive in the morning no problems whatsoever. So we're going to move to the next page now. So we're going to have a quick look at the exterior. Now, I have said a little bit about the rear. So it does have a brand new design, and you can see it does have a slight diffuser. Now, that's not really what you'd expect on an electric vehicle, but there we go. So it's got door handles just like in a Tesla, so these are actually really good handles, so nobody can just grab them like on a normal car whenever they want. So it's harder for thieves to actually grab the door handle, but then again they could just smash a window. But being on a good side, we don't want to have our expensive cars robbed. So basically how this works, when you have your key in the pocket, and once you press the unlock button, or once it detects that the key is somewhat close, then this will automatically reach out to you. So they will automatically just come out. And without the rear diffuser, it would probably look much more nicer, but you can see it's got a nice swooping refreshed design. We have LED rear tail lights, and they are really nice, and we have really big futuristic wheels and rims which look like that you're literally flying smooth out on the road even when you're reaching slow speeds. So you can see we've got front LED headlights, which are actually matrix LEDs if you have the optional extra, and you have some roof options. And that is about it for the Jaguar I-Pace. So I am just going to double check if I haven't missed anything. So you can have a 50 kilowatt DC rapid charger. So I am going to talk about public charging for both of these vehicles. So you do want to use the Untitled charging network for the Jaguar and for the Mercedes, so for all vehicles. And if you do have a Tesla, then you can use the Tesla superchargers, the brand new V3s and V2s, and you can also use Ionity as long as you're charging on CCS. So the Ionity network is a great network for charging all sorts of electric vehicles. All you need to do is obviously plug it in with the CC adapter, and you can charge your vehicle. Now these reach up to insane speeds depending on your vehicle's battery limit of charging. So some vehicles are limited to amount of kilowatt hour charging they can do. So some, like Tesla Model 3s, can achieve over 200 kilowatt hours when you're charging your vehicle, which is really fast, so that is good. But other vehicles can't reach that speed. Some are actually limited because the car can't handle that and the battery can overheat, which can cause the car to not have a very good ending. So I'm going to move on to the next car, which is the Mercedes EQC. So here is a Mercedes EQC. Now this also starts at £65,000. I do just want to point out that I do now have both reviews, individual reviews of these cars, so make sure to check it out. I'll put a card in the top right hand corner for the Mercedes EQC now, and the Jaguar I-Pace just after that. So again, we're going to go over the design and the technology in it. So for the technology, the seats look relatively comfortable, and you've got again air suspension and driving modes which you can select. So you have Eco, which is the most economical. You've got Comfort, which is sort of balanced and sort of varies on your driving style and how it adapts to the car. And you've also got Sport, which is a lot more firmer suspension, and then individual is the most sportiest setting, where when you want to overtake somebody on the motorway, or you'll just happen to be racing on the motorway, which you shouldn't be doing, then you can put it into individual mode, and this will give most power to the battery, and you'll be able to get the most power you can possibly get. So as you can see, it has got a large screen. Now they're actually two 12-inch screens if I'm correct, and they have satellite navigation, and they have this amazing feature where with the satellite navigation you have some cameras and you'll be able to see the exact road in live conditions, and you'll be able to see where you're supposed to turn just in case you take a wrong turn. This will allow you to not make that wrong turn and make the correct turn. So if you do want more in-depth videos about that, then I can post a link to a video that will be released soon. Currently it is private, but I will release that at some point, so stay tuned for that. So we're going to go on to the design now. So here on the design you can see that this is a stylish SUV. It looks really nice. It has rear tail lights and front LED headlights. These again are optional to have matrix LED headlights, which give a lot better visibility, and you can see this again has privacy glass and very big wheels and rims. Now, I don't think that's necessarily good. You don't need to have big rims and wheels, but if you do, like in this big SUV, which is probably more recommended rather than having small wheels, then go for it. And as you can see, this doesn't have that feature where the handles can actually close into the car. These are just normal handles like on pretty much every single normal car you have out there. So you have some trim lines over here that you can choose from, all varying at different prices obviously. So your first basic design is EQC Sport, and it goes all the way to the EQC AMG line Premium Plus. Yes, the names are getting longer now, and that's starting from £75,000. So this is what it looks like. And you can see it's got a really big Mercedes logo at the front, just to show that futuristic design with that grille, which looks really nice. And you can see the light design in the rear is all integrated. It's absolutely amazing, and it's very unique. So wherever it goes, it stands out. So if you're going to a different country or you're traveling on holiday, this car will stand out amongst the rest. So as you can see, this is the driving wheel. So you can see it has multifunctional displays and multifunctional buttons for you to choose from. So you can control your cruise control. You can pick up and decline calls once you have connected your phone to the Bluetooth stereo, and also you can change radio stations and anything else you want to change on the display, whether you want to half split the display to display the navigation, or anything else you want to display, some other trip computer settings. It does have ambient lighting, and it does have an opening sunroof, and you can have many different packages that you can choose from, including the sound system, which can be upgraded to the Burmester, and also has a balance package, which is basically fresh air HEPA filter system, and overall is a very nice car. Now I recommend you go for any of these two cars. It just depends on what you like the best and what brand you like, and overall you need to test these cars out for yourself. They both start at the same price, you have to remember that. So these are both good cars. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.